Superheroes. They're not above the law, and frankly, some of them deserve to rot in a cell. Kicking off our list is everyone's favorite archer, Hawkeye. This marksman may be one of Earth's mightiest heroes, but even he's had a brush with the law. The Raft is a high-security underwater prison used to house powered individuals. After siding with Captain America against the Sokovia Accords in Captain America: Civil War, Hawkeye found himself on the wrong side of the law and imprisoned in the Raft. Hawkeye didn't stay locked up for long, though. Captain America and Black Widow busted him out, and he eventually cut a deal with the government, trading prison time for 2 years of house arrest. But his troubles didn't end there. When Thanos snapped his family away, Clint was devastated and took on the mantle of Ronin, a darker and more violent persona. He spent the next 5 years traveling the world and killing criminals, driven by grief and a thirst for vengeance. This rogue archaeologist isn't exactly a hero, but she's fought alongside some of the galaxy's finest. Dr. Aphra has a knack for getting into trouble, and that includes a stint in a Kresker jail, an imperial prison built from wrecked ships and notorious for its high mortality rate. The Empire used prisoners like Aphra as expendable soldiers, sending them on dangerous missions to board enemy vessels. During one such mission, Aphra managed to survive by rewiring her hub droid to explode, taking out the other prisoners with it. She was later captured and interrogated, but even without a plan, Aphra remained defiant and resourceful. Coming in at number 8 is the shrinking superhero, Ant-Man. Scott Lang, the second Ant-Man, has a history of getting into trouble, often for trying to do the right thing. He was originally imprisoned for breaking into his former boss's house and crashing his car in the pool, all to try and return money the company had stolen from its customers. It was this criminal record that led to him becoming Ant-Man in the first place. In Civil War, Ant-Man joined Captain America's side and was subsequently imprisoned in the Raft. Like Hawkeye, he made a deal with the FBI and ended up under house arrest. He served 4 years for good behavior. Next up, the enigmatic and lethally efficient Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, found her past catching up with her in the cold, unforgiving depths of the Raft. This wasn't just another mission gone wrong, it was a consequence of her complex moral compass and her unwavering loyalty to those she considered family. Initially aligned with Iron Man during the tumultuous events of the Sokovia Accords, Natasha's inherent distrust of unchecked authority and her deep-seated bond with Captain America ultimately led her to betray her initial allegiance. That decisive act, aiding Captain America and Bucky Barnes' escape, effectively painted a target on her back, making her a fugitive in the eyes of the very government she once served. Thunderbolt Ross, ever the relentless pursuer, saw Natasha not merely as a rogue agent, but as a crucial piece of a larger puzzle. He believed that her intricate network of contacts and her intimate knowledge of covert operations could lead him directly to Nick Fury, who had vanished in the wake of Shih-ELD's catastrophic collapse. Ross's obsession with capturing Natasha stemmed from more than just a desire for retribution. He saw her as the key to unlocking the secrets Fury had taken with him, secrets he believed were vital to national security. Thus, Natasha's imprisonment in the Raft became a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, where her survival depended on her ability to outmaneuver a man driven by both ambition and a thirst for control. Aric of Dacia, the Visigoth warrior bonded to powerful alien armor, endured a brutal and protracted imprisonment that defined his very existence. Torn from his 5th century life, he found himself a captive of the Vine, an alien race with a chilling disregard for human life. Their advanced technology and ruthless efficiency made his captivity a living nightmare, a stark contrast to the familiar battlefields of his homeland. Held aboard their sprawling, organic warships, Aric and his fellow captives were subjected to forced labor and dehumanizing treatment, their lives reduced to mere commodities. The Vine's intent was not merely to subjugate, but to break the human spirit, to strip them of their identity and turn them into compliant tools. However, Aric's fierce Visigoth pride and unwavering determination proved an insurmountable obstacle. The years of captivity, though filled with suffering, also forged a resilience within him, a burning desire for freedom that would ultimately fuel his rebellion. When the Exo Manowar armor, a sentient and immensely powerful weapon, bonded with him, it was not merely a stroke of luck, but a culmination of his endearing spirit. He used this newfound power not for personal gain, but to liberate his fellow captives and wage a defiant war against the Vine, transforming his imprisonment into a catalyst for a galaxy-spanning struggle for freedom. At number 5, the formidable Luke Cage, the hero for hire, lands on our list, his story a stark reminder that even the most righteous can be unjustly imprisoned. His journey to becoming a symbol of Harlem's strength began with a betrayal, not a battle against supervillains. Framed for drug possession by his childhood friend, the envious Willis Stryker, Carl Lucas found himself himself trapped within the harsh confines of Seagate Prison. It was here, amidst the brutality and corruption, that he was subjected to a dangerous experiment, a desperate attempt to create super soldiers. Ironically, the very system that sought to break him inadvertently forged him into the unbreakable Luke Cage. The experimental procedure, designed to enhance physical capabilities, instead granted him impenetrable skin and superhuman strength. With his newfound powers, Luke escaped the prison's clutches, determined to clear his name and reclaim his life. However, his story takes a darker turn in the Ultimates universe. In that reality, Luke Cage's imprisonment was a chilling act of systemic injustice. He was incarcerated at the tender age of 15, with no apparent cause, and left to languish for years. This stark contrast highlights the potential for corruption within any system, even those meant to uphold justice, underscoring the enduring power of Luke Cage's fight against oppression in all its forms. The Punisher, Frank Castle, blasts his way to the number 4 spot. This vigilante has a long history of imprisonment, often landing himself behind bars for his violent methods. He's been locked up in Rikers Island, apprehended by the Avengers, and even jailed by Hydra. The Punisher's time in prison is usually short-lived though, as he's a master of escape. In one instance, he spent about a year and a half in prison before being released. The Man Without Fear, Daredevil, lands at number 3. Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer by day and vigilante by night, has been imprisoned both as Matt Murdock and as Daredevil. He was once arrested after his secret identity was exposed, and in another instance, he was jailed for manslaughter after accidentally killing a criminal. Daredevil's time in prison was a brutal experience, as he was targeted by numerous criminals who wanted revenge. He was sentenced to 2 years. Prison was particularly challenging for Matt because it amplified his internal struggles with guilt and his Catholic faith. He grappled with the morality of his actions as Daredevil and the hypocrisy of upholding the law while operating outside of it. Taking the second spot is Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. This former war hero was captured by Hydra and brainwashed into becoming an assassin. He was later imprisoned in a Soviet-style gulag after the Russian government demanded his extradition for past crimes. Bucky's time in prison was marked by torment and forced gladiatorial combat. He was sentenced to life without parole. Despite his dark past, Bucky has a softer side. He even has a beloved cat named Alpine, a testament to his capacity for compassion and connection. Holding the top spot is Captain America. Steve Rogers, the Sentinel of Liberty, was imprisoned after opposing the Superhero Registration Act in the Civil War storyline. He saw the act as an invasion of privacy and an attack on personal freedom. Although he was ultimately assassinated outside the courthouse, his brief time in prison showed his unwavering commitment to his ideals. To prepare for his role in Civil War, Chris Evans underwent an intense training regimen that included weightlifting, gymnastics, and plyometrics. This dedication to physical fitness reflects Captain America's unwavering commitment to his values and his role as a symbol of strength and freedom. So we've seen the heroes behind bars, but what about the villains pulling the strings? If you think you know the whole story, think again. Click the link in the description to dive into our previous video, Super Villains Who Were Secretly Helping the Superhero, and discover the shocking alliances and hidden agendas that truly shape the superhero universe. Don't just watch the heroes fall, find out who's lifting them back up.